What's good with the YouTube? You already know Big Flaco with a convict's perspective. I'm smashing, dashing, sliding on through with a little bit of energy. Please hit the notification, comment, subscribe, do all those things to help support this channel. And what I'm doing at this time, I'm gonna drop a previous Q&A that was on Real Talk with Flaco as I'm moving it from one channel to the next, man. Hope you guys enjoy. Have a good one. So I asked the other day in a community post, man, does anybody want to ask some questions for a Q&A? I didn't get a lot of questions, but I got enough for me to, do a quick little spiel for you guys, man. And maybe we'll do a part two, every couple weeks. I do want you guys to expand your questions. I don't want it just to be about, gangs and history and so forth, man. But, every once in a while, that's cool. So let's get to it, man. The first question, CEO of Annoying Cholos, what was the most wrongfully removal you've seen happen? Man, I was there when George Lucky Mendoza got hit. That was the worst one. Not that it was brutal or anything, man. I'll go into how he was removed, but the purpose and reason why he was removed. Skip pushed the issue because George Lucky Mendoza was seeing a female that used to date a carnal named Pony Martes. Pony was pushing the issue on this. Now, Lucky came up front about this, saying that she said she was no longer with him. She hadn't been with him for years. And so he started dating her. And, he didn't hide from it. He didn't shelter from it. Now, is that a smart idea? He is a carnal. You know what I'm saying? Is it really, worth pressing the issue with someone that's supposed to be your brother over a female? You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was justified. Now, if it was a northerner and soldado, whether I think it's justified or not, it would have been justified, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? See, there's certain things that you don't do. You don't start to date ex-homies, ladies, especially if they're a carnal or something like that. You're begging for an issue. But Lucky was a C. So what it came down to was favoritism. I've seen northerners and soldados get hit for trying to get at an NF member's ex or seen an NF member's ex. I've seen and heard of people who've been hit and removed because all they did was reach out to their baby mama who was now seen a C. So if you're a northerner and soldado and you're thinking about trying to have any type of relationship with a C's ex, you may want to rethink that. Because throughout history, people have gotten hit, they've gotten whacked, and those are just facts. The Lucky situation. If a C could get hit for dating another C's lady, what do you think's going to happen to an soldado or then? Lucky was upfront about it. I think it was a wrong call. I think even if it would have been a northerner and soldado, it would have been a wrong call. But per the law, it's the right call because you never go against a C if you're a C. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, Lucky was upfront about it. Skip pressed the issue. They pretty much told Lencho that he better deal with it or they're going to deal with him. Lencho waited till he had to go to a visit. We lost all our stamps. They went and got Lucky, told him to give the stamps that were coming back to East Block. The homeboy Top hit him, flushed the piece. Willow took off on him, and the Top went back at it. They had him against the fence. He got hit real quick. Wasn't too bad, and it was intermission. I kind of questioned this call, like I said from before in a previous episode, because, if a seed needs to go, wouldn't you rather wait till he gets up to the bay and then get his ass in the cell? That was my whole perspective of it, man. So, he wasn't a bad dude. Would I have made the choice that he made? Hell no. I'm saying? I don't want any of that backlash. You know what I'm saying? If they could hit him, who's been in the game for a minute, hey, you never know. That was the main one that stuck out. Most removals, the other one, I've seen other removals, but I wasn't personally there. I've overseen investigations of wrong removals. I made decisions on people who made wrong removals. So, but this is the only one CEO of Annoying was that I actually seen. Okay, so, excuse my cough, man. The next one, John Moe. Why didn't the NF expand to Oregon and Washington? The NF did have some strongholds out there in Washington. Yakima, of course, you know what I mean? Seattle for a minute. But those regiments out there at that time were very small in numbers. They weren't like California-based to where you have NF and Norteños everywhere. One of the first NF members to go out there to Washington was Chapo Ramirez from Stockton. He set up shop. Eventually, they brought the bonds out there. By 86, they were already practicing the bonds out there. You know, on the Patreon, I had that filter that discusses a regiment out there in Seattle, Washington. What else do I have? They've had a presence out there. You know what I mean? Somewhere around the 90s, before Operation Black Widow, you know, they kind of fell out of contact with the Cali car for a minute, Washington. Now they're completely in line. You know, the Tierra de las Manzanas. That's what they call that area as far as for the NF. So they actually have some 1C out there, I believe, from Spokane. So Washington does have a presence. Happy from Lodi used to go out there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of C's from that area, the Stockton area, with their ties to the Stockton Regiment, used to have inner dealings out there in Washington. Now, Oregon, less is known about Oregon in that aspect. Any homeboys that are out there have pretty much been migrated. They've moved out there. I'm not going to say that they established regiments or nothing like that, but their presence are not as well known. But Washington is known. There's been a homeboys out there for a minute. They may be falling behind a little bit as far as compared to the California Norteño base, but they're pretty much catching up real fast. Now, for a minute, they had a faction which you call the Big Dogs. And that was a Norteño group that created their own organization because there was no communication with any C's. That eventually got shut down by Skip because they basically became their own entity. Now, that's about it for Washington, man. They've been out there for a minute, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of looking at them in the same eyes as California. That's not going to happen. California is always going to be home base, period. Okay, so let's look at these other questions. Okay, the homie Moko. Why you think it's allowed so much red on red and kids putting the red rags on music videos, which creates a lot of attention? Yeah, I agree. Why do I think that happens? Only one and one reason only. With the social media and so much outlets to generate income, it's about the money, period. If you're over there putting on a red paño or representing red, banging that norte, there's no way you're going to make 1 cent without contributing to the NF, period. So therefore, they may make an exception because money's coming in. Money's being generated. It's a business. It's basically a character for some of these rappers as well. You know what I'm saying? There's a few that are out there with a business. They're homeboys and so forth, man. But if you're putting on that red paño in a video, if you're throwing up 1-4s and so forth, there's no way you're not going to be kicking in money. Now, as far as you said that, why is there so much red on red? I haven't seen much red on red or heard. Sacramento has a little bit of issues, but those are more hood issues. It's a little bit different out there, man. It's cracking out there right now. And I don't like to speak on their politics because it's a whole different ball game out there. It's a straight melting pot right now. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the music industry. But in general, I mean, the red on red stuff basically started to die out by about 2000. You would still have incidents here and there, but I don't say that there's no influence. Now, but as far as the red on red in music videos, I do think it's a straight up front street. I do think it's going to have adverse effects. But then again, you got to remember that some of these videos are being shot over there in Mexico because there's a whole base over there that has a whole thing going on that's pretty set up, pretty sharp. They're doing their damn thing over there. That's pretty sharp. It's pretty smart, man, on a whole different level. So I think them being over there, there's less scrutiny. There's less attention from law enforcement. They're able to shoot videos throwing up red rags and 1-4s and so forth, man. That's my only answer to that. As far as home base areas, hey, you got to be careful. You know, GUM was a prime example of what could happen when you're pushing lyrics on behalf of the Norte. But if any rapper, anybody thinks that they're going to do anything, any type of business without contributing, it's not going to happen. Even your legitimate businesses, you know, which kind of makes me wonder what's going to happen with some of these people who are from up north that have established certain businesses down south. You know what I'm saying? Is that a venture that the O's behind, or is that a venture that the other fellows are going to want to collect? That's just something I've been thinking about lately. You guys know what I'm talking about. That could be a very, sticky situation. Unless things have already been worked out. Anyways, Robert, he asked me, what was the most effed up drug deal you've ever seen? I think one that I did, when that big drought happened, we got some straight garbage, basically. I have some suspicion of what happened to it. I think potentially that it could have been switched out. But in any event, it was about $12,000. And pretty much that's what I had to cover. It wasn't all that bad, but it was pretty much something that was going to be hard to push out there. You know what I'm saying? And this was during the drought of 2005. But there's some red flags in that situation. Another situation was a Fizz deal that went pretty bad. Where they had done something faulty at someone's house, man. So a transaction was set up, and I just basically took these dudes for all their pills, straight up. And in the process of me doing that, this female's brother ended up getting snatched up, and they ended up tying him up at a house and so forth, man. And then pretty much went to work on him for a little bit, traumatized him. But then the thing is that once this was found out, who the one that really did it, the person that was doing that, it was afraid of me. Because in, let's say, I'm going to say 2002, me and another C. This dude was related to a C. He did not know I was involved in this. And this occurred after I was no longer active. But this dude was still scared of me for what I did to that individual, Scrappy from Hayward. When he was living in Santa Clara Street. And a C had some business dealings from there. And I had his whole past surrounded. You know what I'm saying? And this was for his actions, for him doing a bad transaction. So that's two actually transactions, man. I had homeboys Roper over here. Young Buck was over here. I had cars staged all in front of this house. And me and the homeboy went in. He wanted to take his brother in there to show his brother what it was about. And pretty much, I laid this dude down pretty much real quick, just with words, and broke him out of pocket. And it traumatized him. So once he did this little treacherous act, you know what I'm saying? He was spooked. But it was a transaction to where this person had burnt this person, so I was going over to take care of it. You know what I'm saying? I just took them for everything they had. Other than that, I can't really say I've seen too many bad transactions because a lot of people went too stupid to jack certain people. I didn't really run in circles that people would even try that with me. You know what I'm saying? We did get that one bunk shit, but I can't really say that was there was some fishy things going on around that, man. You know? The work came 2 days later, and it didn't look like what we got. So there's some red flags on that. Okay, so yeah, that's about it on that one, man. And the final question was Shadow Pit, man. He said, if you weren't betrayed, where do you find yourself within the O and so forth, man? If I wasn't betrayed and things were different, that'd be a hard question, bro, because I'd have to play my cards right in whatever scenario I'm in. Whether if I was in the feds or in the state. You know, that's politicking. You got to play your cards right. You got to find all the right people you're going to align with and make sure you make the right choices. Sometimes no choice is the best choice. And what I mean by that is don't let your allegiance be known where you stand by. So with everything that's going on, I would definitely be in the mix. How high? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? With everybody that I see now that's actively in different areas, you know, it'd be a little different and harder to have any type of presence in the feds. But I guarantee you I'd be recognized to some extent. State would be a little bit different. Their caliber of individuals that they've recruited, they've lost a lot of people to indictments. And the caliber of certain carnales over there, they wouldn't have been bros in the 90s. And that's not to disrespect them, it's just facts. So I would definitely have a hard push if that was to occur. And who knows, man? Anything can happen, man. You know, you guys heard my spills and my stories recently. I didn't expect none of that kind of stuff to be happening. I was blind to it. And I was a loyal individual to this, man. So I think I'd be doing life for sure. Or I'd be doing a long time. You know, I don't think I would have messed up politically. Because when it came to certain things within that lifestyle, I knew how to operate. As long as I didn't step on toes or make anybody feel uncomfortable that had high rank, I'd be okay. But in this ball game, you never know, man. And sometimes my confidence in certain scenarios and just how direct I am could get certain people pissed off. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me being me. You know? Anyways, man, this was a quick Q&A, man. I just decided just to knock it out real quick, man. See what you guys think. Maybe we'll do some more of these, man. Wasn't a lot of questions, guys. If you guys want to do one, let me know. I'll put a community post and we'll get to it. All right, you guys have a good one.